And welcome back to Social Media Snapchat. It is World Social Media Day. We are live at the Foundry, and we're talking to some social media giants in their respective fields. We're going to go around the table real quick. I hope I won't forget the names. Brian Mungay from Safaricom. His Twitter handle is @Mungay. Right next to me is Matheo Mutua. Her Twitter handle is @AKenyanGirl. I got that. On the far end, Mark Kaigwa. He's with Nendo. You know him, very familiar figure. And of course, right next to me, Mr. Numbers himself, Extian Dela. Has a company called Crescent 360. His Twitter handle is @Extian Dela. Mark is @MKaigwa. Mine is @Koinange Jeff. The hashtag we're using all day is SMDayKE. Social Media Day Kenya. Folks, great day, fantastic day, and you guys, you know, we've really tackled this social media thing, and let's keep going, because there's some good aspects, there's some not so good aspects about social media. Mark, starting with you. No, let me start with the ladies first, because gender balance. Yeah. You've been very social, you've been very active.
I tried.
And there are good things about social media, and there are some not so good things, and people have to be aware of that, especially people who want to join, people who are thinking of joining, people who want to be part of this whole bandwagon thing. What's the worst thing for you that's happened to you on social media?
Personally, nothing actually much, but I guess it's
no haters.
Very few, really few, and I'm happy.
Is that a gender thing?
That. No, I think it's just what I put out is what I get back. Like, I mean, I keep saying, if you're ready to shout what you tweet on the street, that's your brand. So whatever you tweet, be ready to speak out for it, and that's what you get in return. In terms of the brands that I handle, we've seen an increase with people getting more vocal on social media. There's been an increase on attacks on brands, and it's a bit worrying, but again, you have to listen to what the consumer is saying. So there's good and there's bad, but at the end of it, it's a consumer talking to you. Yeah. It's feedback, it's valuable.
Actually, I know you're not going to agree with that, because you get a lot of haters.
I get a lot of haters. Especially with the trending topics I do, and just with the numbers that I have. You get people on social media hating on you because they want you to tweet them back, and to actually have a Twitter war. In Twitter lingo, we call it a tweet or a tour. So they want
tweet or
a tour.
Yeah.
So they want you to actually hit them back, so that people will actually see, oh, who's this hating on Extian Dela, who has the bigger number, the bigger voice or something. So people actually go follow them and see who are you, who's able to stand up against this big person on social media.
Yeah. Worst thing that's happened to you?
Worst thing that happened to me, my account was hacked.
Oh.
Yes, it was hacked for a week or so, but I got it back.
Was that tough?
It was tough. It's my life. Social media is my life. It's my business right now. And everything I've built for the 8 years that I've been on social media is because of social media. So someone attacked my business, hacked my accounts. Thank God I got them back.
That's tough. That's tough. Mark, Extian referred to the hater aspect, right? And the engagement. People want to be engaged, don't they? I mean, the Mama Mboga, or the ordinary Mwananchi out there, they want you to reply to them.
Yeah, I think the best example really is someone I know you've spoken to before, and all of us are familiar with, and he stands out as a real example that, as much as it's the 30th of June and we're calling it Social Media Day, but that social media is actually every day. Yesterday, today, and tomorrow, and that's cheapy. You know, the fact that he's actually able to bring people who have no concept of the internet, no functional literacy. Some of them are not even literate, but they have kids and people in their households who understand that when Chief says something and Safaricom powers that tweet and sends it to these tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people and their mobile devices, that's the power of technology. And it even goes beyond a platform like Twitter, a platform like Facebook. Those will come and go, but the concept that he's pushing is something we can look towards, that says, in the case of him, there's so many stories. They're amazing. You know, the lost goats, we've seen them. You just need to follow his timeline. It's the most amusing way to get into small village life.
Yeah, the brown and white cow.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, or looking for chairs for the chama. And I'm sure of 2 chairs. Can you bring them? Yes, thank you, Mama. So and so, you just brought them.
Yeah.
Or so and so.
And it works.
It works. Yeah. And I think one of the examples that to me is interesting is that you have somebody in a matatu who gets a sense that the matatu is about to be hijacked. They text Chief Karaoke. Chief Karaoke sends the tweet. We get a tweet. Everybody else gets an SMS. They don't even know what Twitter is. But even the thieves follow him. So then the guys get off the matatu, and so you have,
they abandon their calls.
You have people who, their living is relieving other people of their worldly possessions, right? So that's how they go about it. It's the same online.
You were categorizing Twitter followers from A to Z. What was that?
Right, the A to Z of Kenyan Twitter. So we have all of these trends, terminologies, and ideas. Really, it's a way for Kenyans out there beyond today to get started on Twitter. Why is the letter Y for Julius Yego? Why is S for someone else? Julius Yego, as the story goes, taught himself how to throw the javelin off of videos he saw on YouTube, right? You have Z, Zero Chills. You have this idea that, you can actually throw social decorum and actually start hating them. So the people actually, in his mentions, are living proof that Zero Chills as a concept is theirs, right? And you have this entire alphabet. C is for Chief Karaoke. D, it was done last year, was for Deadbeat Kenya, for example. So where you have all these things that characterize Kenyans and the trends, right? So as we buy data and as we continue to publish and analyze, it's the best seat in the house to watch and actually help people take real business opportunities online and make a living from it.
Yeah, by the way, you guys know Chief Karaoke has written a book, or is writing a book?
It's about time.
It's called The Tweeting Chief. That's the title of the book.
I'm glad he got a book deal. I know he's gonna sell a lot of copies. That's somebody who did some smart business there.
Yeah. Brian, Safaricom. You're the leader in this. You're the leader in social innovation, if you will. Is there a lot of pressure?
Yes, it is. It has. We have to stay ahead of the curve. Once you said, it's always easy to be number one. Staying there is a problem.
I found that out this morning.
Clearly. They're always young and hungry.
Full of energy.
More, energetic people who come out and say, we want to come out and say, we are going to be the biggest brand in Kenya. We have a big chess man doing really amazing things. We have a few other brands that do really amazing things. And for us being as big as we are, quote unquote, we need to maintain that and still maintain the quality and the efficiency and still grow numbers. I would agree what they would say in terms of social media grown wise now there's a lot of attack, but on the positive note, guys are willing to respond. Guys are willing to engage. Yes, you will attack me, but I will be there to try and speak to you, calm you down. It means calling you offline and having a chat with you. We will try and do that. It's not like we are just gonna disappear and attack us. Yes, we have to understand where everyone comes from. Everyone is different as a brand. We are open now. We have opened this kind of one there. Instead of someone calling a customer care line, right? It's a one-on-one conversation. Someone has a space to write where the entire world sees what they're asking you about, what issue they have with you. You can't hide that thing. Or you can email where they have to take a screenshot and then say, no, they just put it out in public and everyone see. So you have to respond as a brand if you are to survive in this space. So you have to keep being innovative. If it's running out enterprise solutions to enable you have more people address issues in a more simultaneous manner, do that, invest in that as a brand. That's what we actually been doing all along.
Okay, leads to my next question. But what's been the best thing about the social media aspect? What's been the best thing, not just for you, for Kenyans overall?
I think it's the power of having a voice. That's really it. If you, like 10 years ago, you had to stand in line to see someone and hope that they actually did you the favor of giving you either feedback or addressing your issue, sorting out what you were paying them for.
And most of the time they would ignore you.
Yeah, you've paid for a service and no one wants to deliver the service effectively, including our own leaders and government. So that vocal ability that we now have, I think that's the best thing about it. And in as much as we might not want to see it moving that way, the generation has evolved. These young people do not know what calling someone and getting feedback is. They know how to take and fix it. That's the world we have to look at. They're the ones who will be taking over the brands anyway. So before you hire him, he has to understand what social media is. Even as a CEO, CEOs have to be online now. They have to represent their brand. So I think the power and the voice that we've been given as Kenyans, and generally as the world, that's the best.
Yeah. Excellent. Do you consider yourself a Twitter bigwig? Is that what they call them?
Yeah, so B is for big wigs in the 80s opinion. So now I'm going to sit back, as Jeff says, and wait to see how you can.
Yeah. You are. I mean, you're a person to contend with, right? Let's face it.
I don't consider myself as a bigwig. People consider me as one, but I'm yet to be there. I'm really far. I compare myself with Americans, with the Philippines. People are rolling in the millions and just have few numbers. The problem is that if we settle down with the numbers, if I as ex-Yandele settle down with the numbers I have, I say, now I'm the biggest Kenyan, I'm the most influential in Africa, I set trends each and every day, beat up my chest, we will never grow as Kenya. I always look up, because the thing is, I don't have someone I'm looking up to in Kenya in terms of social media. I look up to myself, and I look up to other people in other countries, and I have a lot of people looking up to me. So if I don't set the pace, if I don't grow, if I just be in my comfort zone, I'll never grow. That's why I never consider myself as an online celebrity. I never consider myself as a bigwig, because I'm not yet there. I need to do something big. I need to be better each and every day. Each and every tweet that I post needs to be better than the rest and than the previous one I posted.
Great point he makes, Mark. It's fantastic, putting it all in perspective. And at the end of the day, is it all relative, these numbers? Because, Exton is alluding to people outside Kenya. Justin Bieber has 42 million followers. Oprah has another 15. Obama has, I don't know how many, millions. And here we are, we're celebrating 500 and change. Is it all relative?
Well, what I'd say is it probably comes down to the central question of how you use it. So there are people who the number doesn't matter, but the size of the check does, right? So it's going to be, if you choose to look at it that way, the question is what's the impact of it? So my challenge to Yandele here is how many high schools are you hitting up on your weekends? How much of your spare time are you spending? You can even go to Safaricom, probably to their foundation. And because the question now is, you've gotten there. So who are you bringing up with? Right? I mean, and it's something even for us.
What changes?
Right. Like as a business, we're trying to say, look, you're a young college kid. Maybe you've got an affinity for technology, but perhaps with the attention span, maybe not the grades. Or you've got you found yourself in a place where you have this career. You see things a bit different because you're a digital native. So you don't know a world that exists where you can't tweet anybody. And so even the way you approach management, the way you approach leadership. So, for example, we work with Pan-African organizations, CEOs and the like. And one of the things to tell them is people who grew up, the best way, I gave a talk on this, you can learn social media lessons from each of the last 3 presidencies, right? With how people relate as Generation Y in the workplace, how they respond to authority, and how leaders need to respond to them. So you look at everything from the Moi generation, and it was the leaflets and the flyers before multi-party that was social media, right? And you go to Kibaki's generation, and now is the advent of the internet. So the Jomusherus were having HTML websites, and the Africa Onlines were IPO. You had this generation of internet entrepreneurs who took advantage of that. And now, under President Kenyatta, you have a new crop of people, but there's a lot of similarities there. But the difference between, for example, someone under Moi is that they don't speak to authority the way somebody of today does. Today they're like, they can come and ask you, why, Jeff? Yeah. I mean, they'll walk up to you, they'll introduce themselves. You're like, it's possible for you to have this question. You don't know who I am? Like where, you don't know your place nowadays? Because the entire concept of leadership is expected you to respond to them and not the other way around. So when you look at it from a position of now leaders can't be static, they need to be nomadic. So that's an entire thing where they approach the technology, the way that they govern organizations, the way that they admit to vulnerability. So we did a case study, for example, on Safaricom, and look far back, because Bob Collin was an enigma in how he's grown as a brand individually, as Safaricom has grown, and they've been almost toe-to-toe. For the most part, he's actually been leading it recently. We just checked this morning. But what you'll find with the two is that he's never been afraid to say, M-Pesa's out, I'm sorry. Now I'll tell you, those 2 words, it's not just writing them, and he wrote that himself. He doesn't have people manage his account, right? So when you look at what that says, you have local Kenyan CEOs, plenty of them, who are now embracing this idea, and it changes the workplace, it changes the C-suite, and soon it's going to change their bottom line in their books. Yeah. It's a matter of time.
And it might change his taste in food. Brian?
No comments.
All right, gentlemen, ladies, closing thoughts going forward in this social media space. Matteo, starting with you.
I think from a professional and brand perspective, what we encourage as PR is that brands need to stop being afraid of being in the space. These are their consumers. They better tap into what is available and learn to interact with the consumer. Because otherwise, the consumer is always going to be attacking the brand. That's on a PR perspective. In terms of users, we need to understand that what you put out there, the internet doesn't forget. At some point, someone's going to want to hire you, and we're going to do our research. So, in as much as you have an opinion and a personality, you should want to put out the best of you out there.
Because it'll come back to haunt you.
Or it will shape who you are, really. Yeah? Because whatever you, it's like your grades in school. So now, how are you doing on Twitter? If your brand is positive and good, chances are you will end up in a good place. So people need to think really about what they do. It does come back, yes. At some point.
Yeah. Good point, man. Good point. Brian.
I guess for us as a brand is encourage players to see social media as a way to talk to us. If you have issues, come out. Guys will respond. Come out expecting a positive response or a resolution to whatever issue you have. It doesn't always have to be about fighting. Yes, you can raise your issue, you are right. You can always do that. But it's like when you talk to someone in the streets, you don't just come out and just say, hey Jeff, something.
Yeah, confrontational.
Yes.
Yeah.
Come out and just say, okay, you guys, what's happening? Why? Like Marco said, why is this happening? This happening? And we will respond. And then finally, I would like to say, we have come from a place who Mark said, they're not digital, us guys are not digital natives, so guys we came along the way, where we found the web. Now we're in the age of the internet, now we're going to mobile internet, and basically someone said a long time ago that the web is dead, don't leave the internet. Remember that place? This is that place where you can't put a limit to what is available on social media or on the internet. It's open, it's an open canvas. Draw what you want to draw, build a career out of it. Become a positive influencer in the society in that space. Become as a brand, create awareness and engagement through that space without being fearful of what might happen, because you can always manage it to some extent. So that's pretty much it. Let's keep engaging, let's keep going on social media, let's explore new platforms as we're going forward, and I'm sure we'll have a lot of new things coming up for the country in the next few months.
Absolutely.
Sure. Mine is just for all the youth and the young guys tweeting me. And
How old are you, by the way?
I'm 25. I'm 25.
Half my age.
Yes, it's just to all the guys out there tweeting me and saying, XTNL, I think you know a lot of corporates. Please hook me up with a job. And you're tweeting, you have bundles, you're actually tweeting me. Hey, I'm making a living and I made my career from social media, from tweeting. So you can build something, as he was saying, build a brand out of it. And as Naomi said, watch what you tweet. The internet never, ever, ever forgets. Watch out on the brands. I've had my own fair share of attacking brands that later on came biting me back. And I learned the hard way not to hit on brands. Because at the end of the day, they're the ones that put food on your table. So I've learned how to back off, I've learned how to deal with brands, and basically, plan your content. You'd be shocked that I sleep 4 hours every day. I'm awake 20 hours, planning my content, and just building on who I am. Social media is my life. If you're into this as a business, take it as a business. Make it serious. Don't think you're gonna get to the Safaricom's or to the Mark Kaigers or to the Jeff Koinanges without paper, without documentation, without strategy and everything. You need to be structured, you need to be planned, you need to know your craft and your art really, really well.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you need to have a thick back or thick skin.
Definitely.
Thick skin. Mark Kaiwa, you get the last word.
Sure. So I think I definitely agree with everything that's been said. For me, I'll break it down almost to 3 points for 3 different sets of people. First, if you're corporate, I think one of the predictions that we've worked on, and we're working with our clients, we see it and we predict this is going to be the year we watch it fully realized, is what we're calling the age of employed media. So where we really see brands tactfully and tastefully making use of individuals who are digitally inclined and are joining this workforce. All right, you don't tell them what to tweet, you don't tell them how to tweet, you don't tell them to give you their passwords, and you certainly don't tell them to sign pieces of paper they had no process in coming up with. But you engage them in a way expecting that if you create a process through their careers, really, that over the course of time that they choose to be associated with you and work alongside you, that they would actually put a bit more skin in the game and step up, right? So you give them a platform for them to rise up to the challenge and say, I work for Safaricom, and hey, so and so, this is how you can sort it, in my personal capacity. Not paid, not asked for, but that's the age we're getting to, and it's amazing, I think, to have 5 years worth of trends on Kenyans and Africans to build on, to actually build the tools and case studies of what this next age will be. The second thing is, if you're a brand, look at the last 10, 20 tweets you did. If it looks like something where you're desperate, and essentially you could have taken that, and it's one-way traffic, okay? So you're basically putting what could be an editorial in the paper. Picture of this, I was here, I did that. I'm actually pointing out to government in particular. You know, we were here, we did that. The point of social media is not to give us an editorial and timeline of your day. It's to engage us in the process of governing and running this nation. And for all the Twitter chats we had last year, we haven't seen the exact same kind of engagement. So, all right, so it's a challenge. I'm going to be giving a few words this evening. I know some of my learned colleagues in the public sector will be there. We want to engage, but at the end of the day, brand or public sector, if you look at the last 10 tweets and it's one-way traffic, you're doing it wrong, right? And the truth is, you can do social media wrong, but your numbers look good. But nobody will ever tell you because you trend every so often, all right? So the question is for Kenyan brands and African brands, is okay, is good enough? Because if it is, then good luck to you sticking around and being relevant the next 5 years. Figure out, you probably spent over 5-10 million shillings or so in people, agencies, brands, campaigns. But the next 5 years, you'll be toast if you don't actually have strategy holding that together, right? And then lastly, for any personal brand out there, first of all, you're a personal brand, you are, he is, they, you are, everybody here. There's a lot of people behind the camera, by the way. And the second I Google you, I'm going to go off of your Google CV, not what you tell me, right? Because that's what's going to speak to me. And if I don't find anything, or maybe there's somebody that's younger than you who's been partying and making a name for themselves on the internet, trust me, I'll be like, what were you doing about it? Because you've got a great CV, but the age of the CV is dead. Long live the bio. So begin writing yours, and that's all I got.
We're becoming more and more obsolete, us older ones.
I told you, 2 years. You have 2 years. There's somebody watching right now.
Who's gonna take this over? Okay, finally, do we see the age or the time when there will be a social media multi-millionaire? Out of you guys, are they coming? Or maybe billionaire?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah?
I'm gonna be one. I'm working towards that.
I was waiting to hear that.
I'm working towards that.
Mark, Extended, Brian, without, well done, guys. Great conversation. Let's keep talking. Because the minute we stop talking is the minute we start fighting. That's what I keep saying. And this social media thing, it's a game changer. It can change the landscape. It is changing the landscape, and we have no choice. Let's keep doing what we do best. And 5 years, 10 years from now, we'll have another conversation. I'll have been long retired, but you know, I'll come back with my 2 million followers. Thanks a lot, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Keep chatting, keep talking, keep tweeting. The hashtag we're using is SMDayKE, Social Media Day Kenya. SMDayKE. Keep tweeting us, keep talking, keep chatting. Get on board this bandwagon. Because if you don't, you snooze, you lose. Oh my. Thanks so much for joining us. Good luck. God bless.